Excess of sweetness can predispose us to diabetes. Excess of caffeine can make us addicted. Similarly, excess of positivity can make it toxic for us. Hello, friends. I hope you all are doing great. I welcome you to another episode of Calm Sage Speak Your Mind, the judgment free zone, where we have field experts, experience holders, and our in house team coming each alternative Thursday to promote mental health. Today, we are back again with another field expert, Risha Bhattacharya. She's a counseling psychologist, an old friend of mine. Personally speaking, my favorite tattoo artist in the town and a big time anime fan. We welcome you, Risha.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here.
So, Risha, how have you been and what are you up to these days?
So I've been good. The pandemic has taken a toll on all of us.
Yes.
So it's tiring, exhausting, but we've been well. And I've been practicing full time, work from home because of the situation. I'm counseling and I'm working with an organization called Room, the Mind Care Space. And basically, what we do is we understood that there's a huge gap in the number of people who want to access therapy versus to be able to afford therapy. इसकी वजह से we've started like a sliding scale. We started making therapy a little bit more affordable. So we're working in that area, and it's been hectic. It's been good.
I must say that you are doing a great deed by filling up this gap and making mental health accessible to all. So kudos and good luck for your work. So before we start discussing today's topic, Risha, I was thinking of a fun and learning activity for our viewers. So if you allow me, I have a small question for our viewers.
Sure, let's go ahead.
All right, Calm Sage family, giddy up. And please imagine that your friend has been through a breakup and he or she is struggling with the issue and to deal with this phase. What is the first phrase that you will tell your friend to reassure him or her? Write it down in the comment section, please. Meanwhile, Risha, if you could share your response too with us.
So let's go with the breakup. So they're going through a breakup and they're finding it difficult to deal with it, right? So the first thing that I would, or something that anybody is going through anything, I would say is, hey, I'm here for you, and that will be my responsibility, and that's it. I am not going to share my opinions. I'm not going to tell them to get over it. I am not going to tell them to distract themselves. I'll be there with them. I'll be like, hey, I'm here. What can I do? I can, because they're my friend, thoda sa assumption rehta hai. I know, like, maybe I can order them something, hot chocolate, pizza, whatever they like. But after that, I will ask them, what do you want me to do, or be here for? Do you want me to sit with you, listen to you? If you want to vent, we can do that. But that's what I will go with first.
All right. So I must say that there wasn't an element of toxic positivity there. Now, if our viewers are wondering what toxic positivity is, that is what the topic of our today's webinar is. So, amid the pandemic, while we have started to acknowledge mental health with a little more open arms, we have started to hide another topic under the big carpet which we do not talk about. So the topic that I'm referring to is our negative feelings. Every time we are out there expressing ourselves, the stay positive approach of people holds us back. So this has given rise to a new phenomenon which is called toxic positivity. Now, instead of me explaining it to you, I hand it over to Risha and she'll be telling you more about this concept. Yes, Risha, over to you.
Okay, so in the most easiest way to understand toxic positivity, we have two opposing words, toxic and positive. So basically, what happens is when you overgeneralize the concept of positivity, it's good to be positive, always good. But when you try to push the agenda that whatever happens, you have to be positive about it. You have to be happy about it. You have to look for the gain that you're having out of any experience. And to a certain extent, it also demeans what the other person is going through. You, if they're grieving or if they're sad, you will tell them, "Hey, don't be sad, be happy."
Yes.
Or this area is good vibes only, we don't accept anything else. So the pushing of this narrative that everything has to be happy and positive only, up until the point it gets too much, and you're not allowing any other emotion to surface, that becomes toxic positivity. So
Okay. So basically, asking others to be in a wholesome, positive zone and not letting them
hmm,
acknowledge how they're actually feeling is what toxic positivity is all about. So thank you, Risha, and I can also see
correct.
that we have got a mixed set of responses in our comment section, with some of
Hmm.
them have certain hints of toxic positivity, while others are quite good to go to. So, we hope by the end of this talk show, we'll be able to make a difference in the way you would respond to someone who's going through a difficult phase. So, coming to my next question, I think most of our viewers must be thinking that what is wrong with passing just the good vibes or telling the other person that, that this too shall pass or hold on to it. Could you please tell me why it is not healthy, or when it becomes that we should put a stop on the shower of positive vibes only?
Hmm. I'm glad you started with the example of breakup, because that's one of the easiest way to understand how positivity can become toxic after a point. So I'll just take that up if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Right. So let's go back. The My friend has broken up with their partner and he's upset. And यहाँ पे I know, maybe I am happy for that person that they're out of a relationship that was not working out for them, or I did not like their partner, or I feel like they have more potential, they can go and find someone better.
Mm-hmm.
Well and good, but those are my opinions. But when I see my friend sad, I'm like, I don't want my friend to be sad, right? I don't want them to be upset. I don't want them to I want them to realize the potential that I'm seeing. So what start doing is ki, because I'm trying to help them, there are no attempt of wanting to talk about feelings, emotions. However we do it, we're doing it with a good intention. But we also need to like hold ourselves accountable and see, is that what the other person is also looking for, right? So I will go to them and I'll be like, hey, it's okay yaar, matlab koi baat nahi, छोड़ के चली गई, whatever. Now you're single, now you can date someone better, or it's okay, I'm glad this happened, I told you. So all of those things, be happy. Or be happy that this got over sooner than later, and you should. So I'm constantly giving them a reason as to how they should like quickly move on. My intention is okay, but I'm just asking them कि चलो 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 हो गया, चलो खत्म, मतलब don't be sad, don't be sad. um and in that process what happens is the other person will feel like कि maybe I should not be sad in front of them. Maybe they don't want to hear what I'm feeling. ठीक है, that person, my friend, does not like my ex partner, but अब अगर if I'm missing them, I can't say this out loud.
Yes.
I Everything that I've said is going to push the person back into a shell, feeling that I cannot openly talk about anything because there is going to be a judgment.
Yes.
And this is where the toxic positivity comes into play. I'm asking them to be positive and be happy and look at the bright side, but in the process, I am not acknowledging that they're upset, they are sad, they are heartbroken, maybe, or they need some time to get over it, or even if they're missing their partner. However, the situation, everybody misses their partner in the beginning of the breakup, and they should be allowed that space to rant about it so that they can get over it in their own time. So वो सब चीजें, all of it just cuts short, and then the person feels like I cannot open up in front of this person. I only have to show the bright side of things,
Mm-hmm.
and I will only be sharing the good things, and then I'm cutting off slowly, slowly, slowly. And then this happens in other relationships as well. What the person is learning here will pass on to the other person. So this is how it works.
So, to sum it up, we can say that toxic positivity kinds of create a barrier between two
Yes.
people, and it stops a
Yes.
person to, share his true feelings, and there will be some form of escapism happening in that case.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately,
Definitely.
the worst that toxic positivity does to us is taking our relationships away. So yes, I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
agree anymore. Even when I had recently been through certain losses in my life in past 6 months, and every time people used to come and say to me, "It's okay. It happened for something good." I'm like, I don't see any good, and you can't really expect me to see something good. You can be there. Sometimes I believe we just need someone to sit and listen to us. So yes, I'm not
Definitely.
saying that I'm not about positivity. I don't believe in confetti, rainbows, unicorns, sunshine, and stars. I'm a big time rooter for all those things. However, I also understand that there's a downside to it. But most of the
Mm-hmm.
time, we don't even know that we are projecting toxic positivity onto others. As you just said, that our
Yes.
intention is good, fine. So, could you tell us that what is that thin line that differentiates between toxic positivity and healthy positivity, so that our viewers can make a note of it, they can self check, and next time when someone is trying to share something with them, they know what to say and what not to say. So, if you could please share
Mm-hmm.
certain guidelines with us.
Yes. So there is this understanding that if you have to be positive, you have to be positive all the time. And there are a lot of, like, scriptures, or maybe um, conversations or self-help books, or in, like, right now the current sort of direction has changed. People are being more inclusive and understanding the problem of toxic positivity. But previously it was more so of um, constantly pushing yourself in the direction that you have to be positive, and whoever is negative, they will lose out in life. So there is this constant reminder to people that you should not be sad, you should not be angry, you should not be sensitive, you should not show XYZ emotion if not positive or happy. Or if there is a problem, they will say there is a reason for it. So constantly reminding or telling people that it's okay, like saying that it's okay is fine, but you're just saying it for the sake of them to move on faster from anything. Or just for example, the pandemic. All of us are going through it in different manners. Some people are dealing with, like, not being able to see people, having to distance themselves. Some people are dealing with loss. Some people are dealing with the complete 180 of their life, where they were independent versus now they're back home. So all of these things, everybody is grieving in some way or the other, and they're dealing with it. Wahan pe, if you come in and say ki, whatever happens for a reason, or at least you have a shelter over your head, or at least you have food, or XYZ, or at least you can work out at home, all of those things. um I am grateful for that, and that is the positive out of it, definitely. But using that as, like, a leverage as to how you should not be feeling certain things, that's where it becomes toxic. So basically, that's the thin line of using it as a reason as to why you should not feel something or the other, or why you should, for some reason. Now, if you were to ask someone, "Ki, I'm happy, and okay, I'll get over it. I'm moving on. I'm happy, and I got lemon and making lemonades." So then what? Like, फिर क्या? What do I do next? Because there is so much. The pandemic is not over. I still have to stay. I still have to deal with those things. So what am I going to do with that, constant push of wanting to be positive? So, like, these are the hard questions that you ask. And another thing that people can do to practice or to understand if they're being, if they're pushing that agenda a little too strong, is, are you trying to do it because you feel like that's the right thing to do? Because this is where you mentioned that we tend to project what we feel. When we are talking to someone, the first thing is give them a solution. I
Mhm.
feel like this is the right thing that should be done. I feel like you will feel better if you do this. Or I feel like I've seen you and I'm a friend, I'm looking out for you, I care for you. All that again is well and good, but do they want to do that? Do they feel the same way? Or according to their situation, are we being empathetic enough to give them the space?
Mhm.
So that's when you can ask yourself, "Ki, am I doing this because it works for me, or or am I pushing, or this is something that will actually help them out? Are they accepting that change? Are they accepting that topic, or is there a distance that is happening after this conversation?" So you can always look out for these little hints, and you'll understand that maybe I need to step back and maybe ask. So in that sense.
You just quoted my favorite line that in a world full of, that was my next question, that in a world full of, where people
Ha.
are telling you that if life gives you lemon, make a lemonade approach, how do you actually be that person? You already shared certain tips with us, that these are the liners, these are certain pointers to take care of, that differentiates healthy and toxic positivity. But in that case, Risha, if you could tell us that how we can,
Hmm.
be there for other person without, inflicting toxic positivity onto them. Because we know that a friend has come to me, he has something to share, and I don't know a single
Hmm.
phrase other than
Hmm.
this too shall pass. So what should I be doing in that case if not projecting toxic positivity? I want to be with that person. I want him or her to be open to me. But
Hmm.
then I don't want this line to be crossed from healthy to toxic positivity. So if you could share certain tips
Hmm.
and tricks with us that would not suggest escapism in light of positivity, rather allow the other person to share more with you and embrace whatever they're feeling. So yes.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I have like two movies that I'm reminded of. One came out like really early on, the first Lego movie, and then I'm reminded of Inside Out. So both these movies are like, the Lego movie is more of a very simplified version of enthusiasm,
Mhm.
and Inside Out is a very beautiful way of understanding how you're feeling and your emotions. The reason Lego movie is coming up is, there is this section where there's a song "Everything Is Awesome," and anything happens, like any achievement, and the song just starts playing. And if even if they're down low, again that song starts playing. So throughout the movie, the song "Everything Is Awesome" is constantly coming and going. And after a point in time, you will be extremely irritated. Stop it! Like, why am I listening to the same song over and over again? It's too, it's not as awesome as the song is portraying it to be, right? And in the movie as well, the characters are also irritated. Just stop. So that was a very funny take on that, toxic positive, or I would say like enthusiastically positive all the time. Not every time everybody will have that 100%. Even if I'm happy, I may be on a 50, or maybe a 70 or 80.
Mhm.
And then if someone is saying, no, let's be on 100, like, wow, perfect, yes, let's go. So it becomes very irritating for the other person as well. And so that is something that you can check out for. If somebody is, taking steps back, somebody is, feeling a little irritated, somebody is not playing along, or even if they're playing along, the next time something happens, they would want to step away from anything that you're planning or doing, because they're not matching that energy. You are demanding a lot from them. So that's one. And regarding Inside Out, so there, have you seen the movie?
That one I've seen.
Yes. Okay, great. So in the movie, there is a scene where, I can't remember the name of the character, but there was the childhood fantasy of Riley, the pink elephant looking character. Right, and there was a point where it was really sad,
Mhm.
and happiness or joy was constantly like, hey, it's okay, let's be happy, we're halfway through, we're gonna go there and everything. And he's just sitting down, and he's sad, and he's upset, and he's crying tears of candy. It was really cute, but the person is really sad. And then sadness comes along and sits with um, that imaginary friend, and just sits there and is like, hey, it's okay. And that was more than enough for the imaginary character to cry, let that feeling pass, and then get up and continue. And that kind of put things in perspective for Joy as well, because she thought the idea is to avoid sadness,
Yes.
but we forget that now this is something on the psychological aspect. Sadness and happiness are two extreme emotions.
Yes.
You can't be happy and sad all the time. Your body will be exhausted of nothing. So we come to a neutral ground. So whenever we're feeling either, both these feelings will pass. Happiness will also pass. So with that scene, what happens is you understand that all you need is someone to just be there with you. When you have things that you have to say, take them as your own opinion, and for the time being, keep them to yourself. You don't have to really say anything. Sometimes even saying this out loud, ki, yeah, I don't know exactly what to tell you, but I'm here. Right now, I am also really, upset or confused that you are going through it, and it makes me upset that you are feeling sad. But I want us to go through this, and I'm here, and whenever you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. So that is the starting that you can do with your friends, and from there on onwards, when you give that space, when you give that space for someone else to occupy and accommodate to, okay, I just need someone to sit with me, or can we go out, and buy something, or can we go out for coffee. You're giving that space and they're taking up that space, and they feel like this person is accommodating and listening to me, and so they'll do the same thing with you. This will be reciprocated in the future. So next time when you are going through anything, they will be there in the same capacity. So this is where you start with. Another thing that I'd suggest people say, or something that I generally like to say, is ki, there was this, you will learn to deal with it. You are hurting right now, but there will be a time when it will not hurt as much. It will hurt, but it will not hurt as much. So you have to acknowledge that, and I add ki, and throughout it I'm going to be there. So this is something that I generally prefer to say or do in the process. And I'm also reminded of a really nice image that has been shared on Twitter and Instagram, where there's this ball and then there is a jar. The ball is inside the jar, and the statement says that okay, you think that the grief will shrink over time, but in reality you grow around that grief, and that makes a lot of sense. That grief is there, or any anger, or irritability, because humans after all, we have greed, jealousy, sab hai, and we just learn to work with it, and it teaches us something later on. But we don't have to squash it. Ki, nahi, I don't need this, I don't want this. So in that sense.
That is what I was coming to, because we also recently posted a same graphic on our page that
Yes.
we think that the grief is shrinking. Ideally, we grow
Mm.
around grief. So that was a very beautiful thing,
Mm.
considering the fact that past 6-7 months haven't been easy for me as well, personally and emotionally. So that post was like volumes to me. I even thanked my art
Mm.
designer that thank you for making this post. Maybe this is something that I was looking for a light of,
Yeah.
or just one thing. But whatever you just shared with us, Risha, right now, trust me, I am tinsy wincy on the emotional side right now. So I am lost for words. So before I make a blunder of not knowing what to speak next, I will move to my next question. But before that, I would like to thank you for giving the reference to of movies, which shows both the
Mm.
importance of the emotion of sadness and other emotions, and also that
Yes.
how everything is awesome is not the right
Can
approach.
get on your nerve. Yeah.
It also reminds me of the song that everything's gonna be all right, everything will be okay, it's
Mm.
gonna be a good time. So it's not always like everything will be okay. It's a good time. We can't always say this to the other person, even if deep in your heart. Keep it there. Let the other person move
Yeah.
forward and then pass it on.
Yes.
So yes, I
Exactly.
agree on this one.
Because when you mentioned this song, I think we were in our masters.
Yeah.
So somebody was playing this song on loop, and I was writing my reports, and I'm like, I have a submission. Everything is not going to be alright. So these things can get on your nerve, and we don't even realize. So
True,
yes,
true. Yes, couldn't agree more. Thank you. And also, I would request our viewers to watch these two beautifully animated movies, because
definitely.
I we also have a blog published on movies and various emotions and psychological disorders.
Amazing.
animated movies only. So I have given an honorable mention to Inside Out. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. It's a must watch because it tells a lot about your emotions, that how each emotion has a purpose to fulfill. So instead of
Hmm.
running away from it, acknowledge it, embrace it. So stop making lemonade out of lemons, and sometimes make something else out of lemon as well, or just embrace
Find
the
people.
lemon as it is.
Yes.
True. So,
Exactly.
Risha, now that we have talked about toxic positivity, its signs, ways to stop practicing, is there anything else that you would like to add here
Mm,
that is related to
in
toxic
the
positivity? Yes.
Yes, of course. In the lines of toxic positivity, this is something that happens, like this happened in our conversation. We take the opposite, the happiness and sadness spectrum, and we're stuck with that as well because that's how we see it. It's either positive or it's negative.
True.
What I would want people to also consider when they are thinking about, being positive or being just trying to get through things, you will experience a lot of things. You will experience shame, guilt, hurt, blurry, being absent, being empathetic, being apathetic also at times. So at the end of the day, all of these emotions are things that make you up for who you are. And that one, just being happy wala thing will not help you through different situations.
Yes.
So every time you're feeling something, you will definitely learn something out. But there is always a real hope. Yes, there is always a learning curve. There is always something that will add to your life experiences. That's always going to be there. Yes, but let's not bank on it
Mhm.
because, for example, anger. Now, if someone is angry, if anger is personally, I find anger a very beautiful emotion to work with because anger is one that flame. Just say if we go to the Inside Out reference, there is that the blockhead and there is like fire suddenly, and that's exactly how anger works. So you feel angry about something, so your body suddenly gives you that fire key. Take all of this energy. There is a problem. Fix it. So anger comes up mostly in places of like injustice, you're feeling hurt, and your body's like, bas ab ho gaya, nahi jhelna, take this energy, fix the problem. Now, how we tend to use anger is a little different, but this is the basic of it all. And this allows us as a practitioner also, or as a friend, or a family member, or anything of that sort, to know that there is something that's not working for this person. And
Mhm.
I can't now be like, hey, stop, don't be angry. I have to acknowledge it and say, okay, you are angry. What is making you angry? What do you want to change? What is it that I am doing that is not working out for you? So toxic positivity comes up in anger a lot of times as well. People are asked to, not be angry, don't, or even if they are, irritated or shout too loudly, they're like, hey, why are you being sensitive about it? Move on. So this can also become that, counter or consequence of that toxic positivity. We have to acknowledge almost everything that we're feeling, and in the process you will learn how to go about it. Just say something as small as, if I'm upset, I want to go out and take some time off, and then I have this one person who's the everything is awesome person will come and nahi, spend time, talk to me, what's going on, oh let's fix it. I will fix it, I need time. So always acknowledge what the other person wants, always acknowledge what they're saying, always even if you don't agree to some things, hold on to it up until you feel there is a right time. There will be a time to talk about it. Talk about it then. When they have moved on or when they feel they are not emotionally charged. So, sadness, anger, happiness are all emotionally charged states.
Mhm.
Come to a neutral. When we feel like we are calm, we're feeling pleasant, we are okay in the mind space to have that conversation, do it, but not immediately. You don't have to fix anybody's problems. You don't have to solve anything. You don't have to give them solutions. Just be there as a support, and you yourself will figure it out in the process. What is the right thing to do next.
So very rightly said that
Yeah.
giving the other person the room, the space to feel what he or she wants to feel, and then giving
Mhm.
them a shoulder to cry on, some words to hook on, that is fine. I would like to use this platform to give a shout out to my mom here, because every time I am crying, I just
Oh.
go, I just, lay down on her lap and she does not say anything. She literally just
Hmm.
say, keep patting me, she'll allow me to cry. And when you said coming back to neutral, so when I'm done with the crying episode and I'm sitting there calm and
Hmm.
composed, that is when she starts to ask that what was wrong, why were you crying. So I feel good that she allowed me to be myself in that given moment, and now I can express that what was wrong. And that, of course, makes me emotionally charged up again, but it is not that
Uh-huh.
intense as it would have been
Exactly.
at that time. So I completely
That's a beautiful experience.
yes.
Yes,
So thank
and
you, mom.
I'm so happy that you're so lucky to have someone like that in your life to help you through the
Thank
process.
you so much. So I would ask our viewers too that be this someone in others' life, where they can come up to you, cry, yell, say everything that comes to your mind, and you're just holding yourself back. You know, I have read this one line which I would like to share here, that we listen to respond, not to understand. And
Hmm.
when this thing changes, I think we shut the doors of toxic positivity as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rishad. If
Definitely.
you have any input on
No.
the same, I'll be more than happy to know it. Okay, so thank you,
Hmm.
Risha, for imparting your knowledge in such a simple yet effective manner and recommending some weekend good time movies to our viewers as well. I hope it will help our viewers become better people for their loved ones and for themselves. So, before we wrap it up, I request our viewers to now revisit what they have learned from our today's session by checking their response to the question we asked at the very beginning of the talk show. Eliminate the element of toxic positivity of it, the toxic side of it, and now share a new healthy response in the comment section. To wrap it up, Risha, I request you to share some pearls of wisdom with us that you have gained so far from your experience. Now, this may or may not be related to toxic positivity.
This is actually we've spoken a lot about what you should do. So another thing in just like an addition and something on a personal note and something for everybody, please take breaks. Please rest, take a step back. There will be times when you won't want to deal with the problem, when you won't want to deal with a person who's, grieving or angry. Take a step back. If you can't do it, you don't have to do it again. You, we can be like, kind and supportive, but we can only be that when we have the capacity to do so. So please take breaks, take a step back. It's not your responsibility entirely to, help and be there for people. Be there for yourself as well. And just as long as you are taking care of yourself, all of these things automatically, they settle in the near future.
Very rightly said, Risha. Thank you so much. Viewers, please make a note that take
Take
enough
a break.
rest. Fill yourself
Yes.
up before you pour yourself for other people out there. So thank you so much, Risha. It was lovely having you with us. We wish you all the love and happiness. I hope our viewers will now be able to step out of the good vibes only zone, only to dive into something even more meaningful and deeper. We'll see you again soon. Till then, take care, keep smiling, and stay safe.